Good night, Ted. I'm right behind you. I'll lock up.
Ooh, spooky, scary. Ooh. When Maurice shows up, I'll pretend to be an alien. He's so stupid, he'll fall for it.
Oh, stupid am I? Yeah, I'm stupid. Stupid like a fox.
Oh, that Maurice. He's so gullible. This is my best one yet. Oh, there it is. Huh? Wait till Maurice sees me with this helmet on.
Oh, an alien. Oh, hello, how do you do, Larry? I mean, Mr. Alien, it's so nice to meet you.
Come with me to my planet.
Oh, that's the nicest offer I've had all day. I'd love to join you. Just, let me go pack up a few things.
Where's Maurice? Oh, well, we'll get him later. Meanwhile, here's another freaky story. Whoa.
This is a true story. It happened to a friend of mine, Puddle, the shortest, scrawniest, puniest kid in our camp. If you got him laughing too hard, he'd piddle on himself. If you got him scared, he'd piddle on himself. If you hurt his feelings, you guessed it. That's why we called him Puddle. Now Baxter, our tent leader, knew too. He thought it was hysterical when Puddle got scared and wet himself. Like on our last camping trip. We went up to the campgrounds near the old power station. We pitched our tents, made a fire, cooked hot dogs, and pretty soon it was dark. Time for campfire stories. So we all climbed into our sleeping bags and huddled around the fire. Baxter told a true story about a farmer. He used to own the land up where we were camping. The farmer once lost a cow. When he didn't come back from this very field, he followed his trail along the stream that ran by the power plant. Soon the farmer found himself wading in the stream. It was getting darker, and he couldn't see anything except a strange glow near the power station. Soon there was a strange glow up ahead of him. It was his cow, floating towards him, dead and glowing an eerie yellow. The cow stopped against a steel grate just behind the power station. And on the grate was a big, radioactive warning sign. The farmer checked his watch, and as he rolled up his sleeve, his arm began to glow a yellow glow. He had become the Glow Monster. Baxter stuck out his hand in front of Puddle's face. His arm was covered in a yellow glow. Puddle screamed. Baxter laughed, and you can just guess what Puddle did. Right in his sleeping bag. Baxter told everyone to go to sleep, but we all wanted to know what happened to the farmer. Everybody except Puddle, who was trying to dry his sleeping bag over the fire. Baxter said he wandered the forests, ripping off the arms of campers and eating the glow-in-the-dark stuff from their watches. He disappeared into his tent, then called out and asked if anybody knew what time it was. We all went to look at our watches, but Puddle screamed, wet the fresh jeans he had just changed into. And we decided it was better if we didn't look. Somewhere in the dark, we heard Baxter laughing. Around midnight, Baxter woke up to check the camp. He clomped around the campsite and began to realize he didn't hear anything. He checked the tents. There was nobody there. He found an old dried stream bed and followed it. He called the kids' names and started to get a little nervous. Where were these kids? It's dark out here, and there really did used to be a farmer who owned this land. And the power plant really did do some weird experiments years ago. Suddenly, Baxter turned the bend, and there, in front of him, was the grate, with the rusted-out radioactive warning sign. And there, about 3 feet off the ground, was a yellow glow. And it was moving towards him. Baxter froze. He knew then and there it was the farmer, the Glow Monster. Baxter ripped off his watch and held it out. "Take it! Take it!" he cried. Just leave me my arms!" A yellow hand reached out and took his watch. Then another glow appeared. And another, like little balls of light. really quiet, except for the sound of water tinkling. Or was it piddling? All the light beams trained on Baxter, and then down at his feet. And then Baxter heard the sound he dreaded most. The sound of his campers laughing, and Puddle laughing the loudest. Hey, it's a true story. It happened to a friend of mine, Steve. We used to call him Puddle, but not anymore. We saved that nickname for our camp leader.
I wonder where Maurice could... I think I hear him coming. Here's another freaky story.
This is a true story. It happened to a friend of mine, Jerry. I guess he saw too many episodes of Space Mars, because sometimes you just gotta ask yourself, is it paranormal or am I just paranoid? He had this crazy idea there was a monster hiding everywhere. One evening, Jerry was taking his dog, Leonard, for a walk. When he went by that creepy old house on Mulberry Street, he peeked into the basement window. He wasn't a peeping Tom or nothing, but what he saw froze him dead in his tracks. The cellar was splattered in dripping fresh blood. Suddenly, the door of the house opened. Jerry and Leonard ducked down in the bushes. The guy was dressed in a tuxedo and a black silk cape, just like in the movies. Jerry fell in the dirt when he realized this guy wasn't just a killer, he was a blood-sucking vampire. Jerry and Leonard crawled out and started trailing him. The vampire went down the hill, dragging his big old suitcase. But they lost him when he got on the crosstown bus. Jerry could have gotten on with him, but dogs weren't allowed, and Leonard was, well, a dog. So they went home. Next night, Jerry brought Mickey and Pete. Mickey borrowed his dad's camera. They were going to get a picture of the vampire's butchering room. Then they'd be famous. Slowly, they made their way to the cellar window. The curtains were shut, but they heard this creepy, wet chopping sound. Something was going on in there, all right. A little while later, the door opened and the vampire stepped out, dragging his suitcase. Mickey was going to take the guy's picture, but Jerry stopped him. Everyone knew that you couldn't take a picture of a vampire. They'd turn out invisible. Besides, the flash would give him away. The vampire walked down the hill. That's when Pete whispered, "Hey, I know that guy. That's Mr. Alucard, the head waiter at that swanky restaurant across town. He's not a vampire. Everyone at that restaurant wears a tuxedo." Mickey was ticked. "The guy's a waiter? You dragged me down here to get a picture of a waiter?" It was getting late, so Mickey and Pete headed home. Some friends they were. "He is a vampire!" But the guys kept walking. Jerry hopped the next bus and got off outside the restaurant. It was getting late and Jerry didn't really have a plan, so he waved down a police car. The policeman asked him what he wanted. "There's a maniac vampire in there!" The police decided to check it out. "Good evening. I bid you welcome." It was the vampire. "That's him!" Jerry flashed the vampire with his camera. The officers quieted him down so they could talk to the vampire, who answered all their questions. Of course, he wasn't really a vampire. He wore the tuxedo because he worked there. And he made the house specialty, some sort of tomato juice from a secret recipe in his basement at home. Jerry told the men he was sorry and the police left. Mr. Alucard offered Jerry a glass of tomato juice. Jerry took a little sip. He sprayed the juice across the room. "This ain't tomato juice." "No, it's vegetable juice, extra spicy." Jerry took another sip. "You know, it's not bad." Then he finished his drink and went home. It's a true story. Happened to a friend of mine. Oh yeah, Mickey's dad took the film in to get developed. When he got it back from the photo place, there was nobody in the picture.
You will come with me to my
No.
planet.
No, Mr. Spaceman, you don't want me. I'm boring. Yeah, Maggot is what you want. Yeah, Maggot. Shh, here he comes.
Maggot.
You go on, get out of here.
Maggot.
Go, go, go.
Maggot.
Well, Maurice, they still want you.
Oh, great! I am more than ready to go.
Really?
Okay, Larry, don't you think this joke has gone just about far enough? I happen to know that you are the alien. I'm not so dumb after all.
Oh, you're right, Maurice. No, there's no way I could fool you.
That's right, Larry, you can. Say, if you're Larry, then